Alright, so let's dive into the most mysterious scene, one of the most mysterious scenes in One Piece. In chapter 907, pages 16 and 17, we see this figure walk in the Hall of Pangaea, and he has a meeting directly with the Gorosei. Now, once we see who it is, the whole One Piece community thought that it was Shanks. I thought it was Shanks. You probably thought it was Shanks. The whole community thought it was Shanks. Hell, I have a video based off of what I feel that Shanks is, based off this scene, right? To be honest, my thoughts and trajectory of Shanks' character was shattered that chapter. Then when we fast forward to Elbaf, we meet a new character, a person that shares the same face as Shanks, a man named Shamrock. Now, ever since Shamrock's been introduced, One Piece fans treat it as the excuse, the answer to our doubt and our issues with Shanks' character ever since chapter 907. Now we have someone to blame. The answer is obvious, right? The person that was talking to the Gorosei about a certain pirate is a man named Shamrock, who is Shanks' twin brother, who's been a holy knight and has been protecting and fighting for Emu and the Celestial Dragons all his life. Makes sense, right? That's the answer. Because you know why? Oda always gives us the answers right away. And if you feel that I am serious, then you are a fucking idiot. I don't think I'm going to fall for Oda's tricks as fast as you guys are. I don't understand, to be honest, why the One Piece fandom has such a loyalty to Shanks for some reason. Like, Shanks gave us the hat. You know, I mean, I understand. You follow Luffy, you love Luffy, you've been enjoying his journey since the beginning, but what the fuck has Shanks done for us, really? Like, really? Now, is he a cool character? Yes. Is he one of the top 10, maybe 20 strongest characters current first? No problem. No. I have no problem agreeing with that. But we don't know him like that. We don't know him like that. You know, to be honest, unless they are Straw Hat, we don't really know these characters like that, or what their motivations are, or what's going on, especially Shanks. So, no, I still think that our first assumptions is the correct one, that Shanks was in that office. But as much as I can claim that, I can't disclaim people who still feels that it's Shanks until it is confirmed in the manga, until Oda confirms who was in that office. It's still up in the air who it was. So I'm gonna call the guy who was in that office Shankrock. We're gonna refer to that person as Shankrock for right now, okay? That's Shankrock. Now, to be honest, as I've discussed this with other One Piece fans, especially ones that I feel that are well versed in the verse, that actually know what they're talking about, and that they are great theorists, you know. But I probably only met like 2 that agrees with me. And it's a shame how much people really want it to be the Shamrock person that was in that office. Now, as far as this video goes, I'm gonna go with the evidence that we've been presented, and that's been mostly the manga, because why? You can't really go against the manga, the source material, right? And then we're gonna go against we're gonna actually bring in some anime stuff if it matters, really. All right. I'm going to go ahead and present the evidence that people gave me when it comes to stating that Shankrock is Shamrock, because he's with the Holy Knights, right? Because he's a Holy Knight, and since you're a Holy Knight, you are evil. You work for evil. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not going to get into the whole there's no good Marines or no good Holy Knights thing, okay? But that's a whole other conversation. But that's why people are saying it, because he's a Holy Knight, right? Because I think that's about it. I think that's about it, what everybody been saying. Actually, shout out to my boy Straw Hat Dash. Dash pointed out to me that in this scene, the person who is talking, if you go by the original kanji or whatever in Japanese, if you look at it, he was speaking with manners, like somewhat of a high classman person, and how they would speak to another person of higher class in Japanese culture. But I have something to say about that, but a little bit later. But that's really what the best things I've been hearing about. The best why. Because he is a Holy Knight member, and the fact that it was some proper dialogue going on with this. So I'm going to go ahead and brush past that. But let's really look at the evidence as hand, okay? We're going to go back. The first thing that I would love to do when I have this conversation is to go back to chapter 907, right? And then we're going to actually take the dialogue and we're going to put Shanks and Shamrock in that room. I want you to picture them, okay? In that room. And I want y'all in the comments, let me know, or remix this video, stitch this video, I don't care, and let me know what makes sense in this dialogue and who it doesn't make sense with. Alright, first we're going to imagine that Shamrock is in this room, okay? The first statement is, what do you want? I'm going to say this right now. That could go or correlate to whether if it's Shamrock's or Shank in the room. And then he says, why would you call all the way here? Why would you come all this way? Now, it makes no sense for them to ask Shamrock that. I was stating that since the beginning because, one, if one of the things we've learned about Holy Knights is they're most likely staying on Marijua. They're celestial dragons. Celestial dragons does not like to just be dwelling the surface as if, they love it. They're allowed to. They're not banned from doing it, but their natural nature, they think that they're above that, so they don't care to go down there unless it's Holy Knight's business, which is usually dished out from Imu himself. So for them to ask someone who is literally on Marijua damn near 24/7, it doesn't make sense to say, why would you come all this way, as if they were coming from a far place. And in the recent chapter 1667, we found out that not only do they mostly stay on Marijua, but they have their own temple, like a big ass castle that the knights stay at. So it just doesn't make sense that they would say all this way. I mean, anywhere from any location, basically, from what we've seen. So it doesn't make sense for them to question why did Shamrock come all the way to them, where, like I said, 9 times out of 10 they're already on Marijua, or in the rare instance that they aren't, is because they are sent on a mission from Imu, and if they are required to come back, they can come back instantly. How do I know this? Because as soon as Shamrock summoned the other two holy knights in Elbaf, and he was asked to return to Muijwa because it was on fire. And what did he do? He returned straight there. No other, you know what I'm saying? He got straight there, no problems. And then also, and let's go to the next passage after this, right? It says, "This is the reverend. Given your standing, you should have nothing to do with politics." That makes no freaking sense when it comes to a holy knight. I'm going to put it like this. That's like telling a Secret Service member that they have nothing to do with politics. Now, a Secret Service member is not a politician. I understand that. They're not sitting in the room politicking with the politicians. But guess what? Their sole job is to protect very important people that's involved with politics. Presidents, ambassadors, senators, kings, queens, crown princes, stuff like that. They are people, Secret Service, Royal Guards, stuff like that. They are one of the same kind, but just different traditions. And, you can point out their differences, but their job is far from not political. And then when we go down some chapters later, when we're in the God Valley flashback, we can obviously see Garling, a young Garling, politicking with the Gorosei on what to or where to hold the next hunt that they like to have. So that looks like politicking to me. And then guess what? What happens when one of the Gorosei is put down? They're replaced by a Holy Knight member. So how in the world is anything this passage saying, any word that this bubble right here is saying, makes any sense that they're speaking to Shamrock? Okay. All right, the next bubble says, "We only arranged this time on your request." Now, just like the first bubble, that can translate perfectly whether it's Shanks or Shamrock, okay? Because, yes, it would make sense that they will only arrange this request if it was Shamrock, because just as a person who had the same position as his father back in the God Valley days should be able to have the undivided attention of the Gorosei whenever they need it. No problem. I understand that. I'll give you that, okay? Now, I'm going to skip this next panel right here because we're going to get to that soon when I talk about Shanks. But we can get to this one right here, right? There's a pirate I need to talk to you about. Number one, I haven't seen Holy Knights really interact actually with pirates unless they was just straight up had to, unless they're already in the same area and celestial dragons are in danger, or Emu specifically sent them to go after a certain person and that person happens to be a pirate, which is in Loki's case. You see what I'm saying? So, but not really, because also now that we've got deeper, they didn't really come for Loki just because he's a pirate. They came after Loki because, just like his father, they want him to be a god's blade. Now it makes so much sense. They felt that they can offer him the same position that Harold was so proud to coolly keep. But Loki don't rock like that. So for them to be there to talk to the Gorosei of all people about a certain pirate is crazy. Because even if a Holy Knight wanted to talk to or talk about a certain pirate or get things arranged with a certain pirate, why would they need to be talking to the Gorosei? Because all the Gorosei can do is send the Marines or send the world government after this pirate. but I'm pretty sure that if a Holy Knight has an issue with a certain pirate, they have enough power to go ahead and just make a move with their crew themselves, or get improvement from Emu to do so. So why would they need to go to the Gorosei, where I've never seen a Gorosei member command a Holy Knight at any time? So overall, when we go over this scene, the only passages that makes sense that it was spoken towards Shamrock, from what we know about Shamrock so far, is the "what do you want?" and we only arrange this time on your request. And before I move on to y'all One Piece Daddy, and that y'all love to defend, and we put him in this room, I also want to point out this. This person is wearing a black coat. This person is wearing a black cloak. Number one, we've seen multiple times where the Gorosei is with a Holy Knight member. None of those times has that person had to actually had their hood up and on with their cloak. They've either had their cloak just around them and stuff, or they've had their full-on armor showing. Because why would they need to hide who the hell they are? Because this is their home. And why do you think that you could hide or keep something from whoever you're trying to keep? Especially if you're trying to hide yourself within the Marijwa. So like my example is, who are they trying, if it's Shamrock and he's trying to hide his identity, who is he trying to hide it from? Because number one, he's already a very respected and renowned holy knight of the Holy Land. So what does he have to be embarrassed for to be walking in and talking to the Gorosei? What is he hiding something from Garland? What is he hiding something from Emu? I highly doubt that would fly, or if the Gorosei could help him do anything of the sort. And then if you look at it, when you look at the volume cover that came out right after Shamrock's debut, you see that the cloak is blue. It's blue. So no, that's not the same cloak. And then people wants to use the excuse that you act like One Piece characters don't change clothes. No, One Piece characters only change clothes. The only time we've seen them change outfits that's outside the Straw Hats, or a character that is traveling with the Straw Hats, is the time skip. Other than that, pre-time skip, any character outside the Straw Hats or wasn't traveling with the Straw Hats kept on the same fit. And then after the time skip, they had a new fit. No different. Okay, now that we got that all out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the guy that y'all swear is innocent. No problem, okay? Now, well, first of all, I still want to state that I'm still kind of right about Shanks being a rat, because if we stay and see in the latest chapter of 1667, there's speculation that Shanks helped Tiger Fisher break out and free a whole bunch of slaves that day, which is a good thing. Never said that Shanks is a bad person, just saying that he is a rat and a very dishonorable and dishonest person. But he helped Tiger Fisher, and thus end up helping Hancock and all, and her sisters and stuff like that, and Kolola, that girl, and everything that day. It's a great thing. But even Summers said that whoever did it was a rat, and he's true, and he's correct. A lot of people are trying to bring up the fact that Shanks was undercover, and he's just acting like he wants to be a part of the Holy Knights, and he's just scouting and getting information so he can do whatever. That doesn't make him not a rat. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because why? That's the same analogy for an undercover cop. An undercover cop, especially ones that dives in for years. These are people who actually go in and actually get to know their target, befriends them, becomes family-like to them, just so they can get enough information to lock their ass up for the rest of their life. Now, does the person deserve it? Most likely. Are there pieces of shit? Maybe. But at the same time, that doesn't make you no more than a piece of shit, as a fucking human wise, because you were willing to literally come to a person's face and be the most despicable and dishonest person just so you can get what your goal, or actually just for a job, just literally for a job. So, that still proves that he's a rat. But this video is to prove that he was in this room. So let's move on. So let's put Shanks in this room. They say, what do you want? Like I said, this correlates whether this was Shanks or Shamrock. And they said, why would you come all this way? Now, this is why I say this is why I think this makes more sense that it was Shanks in this room that they're talking to than Shamrock, because Shanks is a pirate. He's a pirate, and not only is he a pirate, he's a Yonko. So he most likely has territory spread out in the New World in Grand Line. And literally, when we be seeing Shanks, he be posted up chilling anywhere. He could be anywhere. He could be at Wano. He could be at one of his territories. He could be at Elbaf. He could be in East Blue. He could be anywhere. So, and this is not like the government is keeping too much task on him, or even if they are, they know what his last reported locations was, and I'm pretty sure it damn sure wasn't close to Marijuana. So it does make sense they would question, why would he come all the way here? Next passage. This is the reverie. Given your standing, you should have nothing to do with politics. Now, I'll give you guys this. If you want to reach and say, well, the Yonko have territory, they protect their territory, they really dive in and are very heavily involved with different islands and societies that live in this islands, and some islands are damn near countryside, so they do have a good little hand in politics, but that's their own politics, nothing to do with the reverie. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like saying that a mafia's crime organized politics is the same as the United Nations gathering up. I'm pretty sure the mafia, unless they actually did some investigating or whatever, don't know when the most important meeting of the United Nations would be, because I don't know if that's public or not, but I ain't dive into it like that. But at the same time, it would make more sense that they would have to remind him that, hey, this is the reverie time. So this ain't no normal time. This is a very special time. Unlike Shamrock, who lives on Marijuana all his life. So I'm pretty sure he knows exactly when the reverie is going on. But Shanks didn't. Even if Shanks does really know what's going on in the world of politics like that, it's fair to question whether he knows the exact dates of the reverie or not. So it makes sense for them to tell him that, given his standing, he has nothing to do with politics, because they're not going to look at his type of politics as the actual politics. So he's going to tell him that, hey, you have nothing to do with politics, given your standing, and this is the reverie, in case you didn't know. So, yes, this statement does make way more sense if it was towards Shanks than it would be towards Shamrock. And like I said, we arranged this time only because it's you request, or only on your request statement, does correlate whether if it's Shanks or Shamrock. Because why? Number one, Shanks is the Garland, is a former God's Blade now that we've confirmed it, and he is a Fagarling, and so he is a celestial dragon. So yeah, it makes sense that they would make time for him and talk to him, because yeah, that I would just say that I would make it sense. It does make sense whether if it was Shanks or Shamrock in this situation. Being said that, bam. Now we're gonna go to this panel that I skipped when it came to Shamrock, because number one is this, right? You see that one of the Gorosei members says this. Let's hear what you've got to say. Guards, leave us, right? We've seen the Holy Knights in the times that we've seen the Holy Knights in that office, right? Hell, times when we've seen fleet admirals, regular freaking Marines, right? We've never seen these Gorosei members tell these guards that's at the door to leave the freaking room. They've never, ever, ever done that. There's no reason for them to, because it's not like these guards are about to go run their mouth. Because why? If they did, they would have been ran their mouth. We would have been seeing scenes of these guys are literally just background decorations, and it's been like that for years. This to me is the only time where they're actually dialogue too. They didn't get any. Well, actually, yeah, they actually got dialogue in this. They said yes, sir. So this is the only time I've seen them get lines or even referred to in the story. Usually they're just in the background. And this is why I say this part is very freaking important, because why would they do that for a Holy Knight when all the other times that we've seen them talk to Holy Knights, they never needed to do that? And it's not like, I'm pretty sure that Emu has a way to know what these people are, know what conversations is going on without having to really get reported to. Like, I'm pretty sure that Emu has like the power to hear all things, like, or listen to people's minds or conversations throughout the walls, kind of like how Zebek was doing, and what we see that Roger and Garp and Luffy and Odin has, the ability, and Momonosuke has. But now in this situation though, they tell the guards to leave. And I feel like the only way it makes sense that they would tell the guards to leave is if they are sitting in the room with a person that's a former God's Blade. A person who doesn't really have that much trust in the room with the Gorosei, or the Gorosei would trust them. A person who is a notorious pirate, maybe and considered the top 4 pirates, literally one of the top 4 pirates known in existence right now. Why do you think this same person would have to cloak themselves? Because even though they have a twin brother there, they can still easily be distinguished with their one arm and their big scar. So, and pretty much so, they are twins, but they have a lot of different features that I'll point out, that I will pointed out 2 of those different features, but that's another one that I'll point out soon. But it makes more sense that they would give more confidence and trust into the conversation by making a power move, by like telling the guards to leave. We don't need guards here. It's only us. It's only you, Shanks, and us, the Gorosei. So you can trust and have confidence in whatever information or words or things that you have to give into this situation, because you're here for a reason. So yeah, it sounds like a good cop, bad cop type of situation. But I feel like this is a very important panel of distinguishing. All right, then let's look at the legendary panel. You see this person, their eye is not shown. The scar, or where the scar would be, or the place on his forehead, is shadowed out. So we don't know if it's Shanks or not. But that's the whole point. It's for him to make you question whether it's Shanks or not. All right, the black cloak. Whether we go pre-time skip or post-time skip, we've seen Shanks in a somewhat black type of jacket. We don't know if that jacket has a hood to it or tucked in under it or whatever that stuff. But bam, like it makes more sense. He wears black. Shamrock wears blue. But I guess that's not too simple, right? But it says there's a pirate I need to talk to you about. Now, like I said, it'll make way more sense that a Yonko, a supreme pirate, one of the top pirates in existence right now, would have information or want to talk to the Gorosei about a pirate before a holy knight would need to. Because why? This guy deals with pirates more. Now, who that pirate is, I've always said it was Luffy, because I felt like it was funny how they really was trying to target Luffy not too long after this conversation. But I digress. But knowing what we know now about the lineage and everything about Blackbeard, maybe Shanks has found out, because he has been investigating Blackbeard for some time now. But who knows if he hasn't been investigating Luffy for some time now also. Because ain't it quite funny how he just popped up to the Marine Ford? Like, he popped up to Marine Ford. And he also got in the way of Kaido of joining Marine Ford. Had us thinking, even myself thinking, that Kaido hated Whitebeard for all these years. But from what we've seen from God Valley, they stood on business until Zabet put his hands on them. Then they said, nah, fuck it. So I don't see why Kaido would have pulled up just to try to pack him up. But Shanks stopped him for some reason. And so we don't know what's going on. Maybe he told Kaido that if he doesn't pull up to the Marine Ford, that he would be fighting Joy Boy soon, because he knew Luffy would most likely be pulling up to Wano soon. So, yeah, a lot of things to spectate. But who and what pirate Shanks was talking about is a whole nother conversation. And we also have a lot of time for that one, so we'll have to put it in another video. I talked a little bit about it last year in my Red-Haired Shanks is a Snitch video right here, so you can go check that out just in case. But I think I am going to be coming back to it on why and speculating on why. I just really wanted to get done with this video. And I would say so far, so what I've been looking to, and unless like editing out to this, found out some more information while he's editing this video. The last piece of petty little information I want to give is, if you look at Shamrock, you could see that his stubble, that connects to his goatee, it's like a beard. It connects to his sideburns. He got a full beard, my friend. Shanks ain't never had no full beard. He's always had that patchy ass, dry ass fucking goatee. So this patchy ass sideburns that's trying to reach the daggone goatee makes more sense that it's Shanks than it is for this freaking elegant ass beard looking ass having motherfucking Shankrock. But unless edit out and get some new more things, I'm gonna end this video here. Please subscribe so we can follow this journey. Even if you do disagree with me, because if it's revealed that it was Shamrock, you can come back here to this video and make fun of me. But if it's revealed that it isn't, and it was Shanks, you can come back here and congratulate me. So, or troll me in the comments all you want. I don't care. Well, we can discuss this more, or discuss this face to face, or over the phone in Discord. So click the link and join the Discord, and make sure you like this video so other people can get mad at it, and share this to a One Piece fan. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, y'all have a good one.